Hello, my name is Cecilia Stevens, and today I'm going to be giving you an informational speech about the theories of left-handedness. So there's this class of second graders about to start an art project. They're going to make their favorite animal by cutting out shapes of construction paper and gluing them together. They're all really excited because they haven't gotten to use the colorful construction paper all year. So they all get a piece of paper that the teacher hands out, and she also gives a pair of scissors to each student. They all start to cut different shapes, and they're having so much fun doing this project, except for this one little girl in the class. So she goes up and tells her teacher that she needs a new piece of paper because her piece of paper won't cut. The teacher tells her she can't get a new piece because there's nothing wrong with her piece of construction paper. So she goes back to her seat, tries to cut the paper again, but it's still not cutting. The paper just kind of folds and rips a little bit, but it's not cutting. So the classmate sitting next to her has no problem cutting his piece of paper. He looks over at her and gives her kind of a weird look. After a minute, he says, "Why are you using your other hand?" She was confused. The classmate told her that he had been using his right hand and his paper's cutting just fine, so that must be the problem. So she tries to use her other hand, and the paper finally starts to cut. When she's done cutting, she looks down, and the cut that just looks really uneven. The boy in the class started laughing at her just because of the shape that she cut out. It didn't feel normal for her to use her other hand to cut the paper, but everyone else could so easily. But why? Now it's possible that a few of us here are left-handed, and if you aren't, I'm sure we all know someone who is. But do you ever wonder why? Today I'm going to be explaining the different theories about the minority group of left-handed people. I've decided to do this topic because I was the one that couldn't cut the construction paper. Living a lifetime of left-handedness has made me wonder why. I'm going to discuss the general overview of being left-handed and the different theories of being left-handed. As stated in the National Library of Medicine article, handedness or hand preference is the tendency to be more skilled or comfortable using one hand instead of the other for tasks such as writing and throwing a ball. In Western countries, 85 to 90% of people are right-handed and only 10 to 15% of people are left-handed. Now, if you are left-handed, it's possible you've run into some inconveniences throughout your daily life. For example, if you're writing something down on a piece of paper, you might find when you're done writing it that it's all smudged and you have a nice coating of graphite on the side of your hand. It gets even better when you're wearing a long sleeve shirt and you're just writing away, and after a minute you look down and there's pencil all over the end of your nice long sleeve shirt. Or maybe, like I mentioned before, you're using a pair of scissors and they barely work. According to the Anything Left-Handed article, machinery and equipment is nearly always designed for right-handers, and in some cases it's actually dangerous to use left-handed. Circular saws and chainsaws are two very good examples, and a lot of factory machinery with safety guards and cutout switches are positioned for right-handed use of the equipment. All of these things that I've mentioned may not be such a problem if more of the population was left-handed, but since that's not the case, just about everything we do on a day-to-day basis is tailored for the right-handed part of the population. One of the many theories as to why some people are left-handed is the genetics theory. At first, researchers thought that a single gene controlled whether you were left or right-handed. But as they looked more into it, they realized it was more likely to be as different as 40 different genes. Studies suggest that these genes help determine the overall left-right asymmetry of the body starting in the earliest stages of development. Another theory is the fetal development theory. According to the Insider article, research since the 1980s has found that our preference for our left or right hand is most likely determined before we're born. Ultrasound screenings suggest as early as the 8th week of pregnancy. From the 13th week in the womb, babies tend to either suck their right or their left thumb. But a study published last year in the journal eLife found that the answer might be in the spinal cord. Sebastian Aucklenberg, Judith Schmidt, and Onar Gunterkun from Ruhr University Bochum found that gene activity in the spinal cord was the asymmetrical womb and could be what causes the right or left-handed. In conclusion, there are many theories as to why there are left-handed people. We went over the genetics theory, the fetal development theory, as well as the spinal cord theory and what it's like to be left-handed. Oh, and that story from earlier, that teacher ended up getting a pair of left-handed scissors for the classroom, so no matter who it was, they could do the projects just as well as anyone else in the class. Thank you.